Yalik.
This is Just Janet.
And this is K.Collie.
And this is
the Just Nuggets Podcast.
Welcome back to the Just Nuggets Podcast. My name is K.Collie. I'm here with Christoph Yalic. How you doing today?
What up, man? What up? How you doing?
Hey, Nuggets is doing all right. I can't complain. Just Janet, how you doing over there?
I'm doing well. Glad to talk about my Nuggets.
Yeah, I mean, just to put it in perspective, the good. Let's do the good. We can do the good and the bad. Obviously, right now the Nuggets are sitting at 14-6. If you told me we were gonna start 14-6, I'd be okay with it. Like, I wouldn't be mad. That's how you want to start. That's if you keep at that pace. That's 28. That's 28-12. You're moving up the ladder with it. 42, and you're gonna be getting a lot of good games. So we're gonna be a strong team. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad. Obviously, not to mention even, and we can go into it, Jays. You can even talk about it. But the team is banged up right now. So if you told me, hey, you would be 14-6. Not having Christian Brown, not having AG, and then Jamal is going to go down for a little bit too, I could definitely live with it.
Yeah, but the only thing that is not so helpful is that we lost a lot of these games. Those six, four of them at home straight, right? Three straight, four straight. So that's the sad part for the fans.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, you would love to be doing what we'll get into it, not Nuggets, and see what some of the other teams are doing around the league, pacing the league out to hot starts and whatnot. However, when you take everything into consideration, I know a lot of people in the national media are hopping off the bandwagon, to which I say, good, leave. We're not used to having you guys around. We don't want you around. And then a lot of people in Nuggets Nation are getting a little worried because of the defense, and the defense hasn't, they're allowing 120 a night and all these things. And even some of the conversations, I think that they should probably make a move to get somebody like a Josh Okogie or someone who can just come in and just play defense. I'm just telling the truth.
Is he available? Is he like you said?
He's just bench warming in Phoenix, I believe. But I'd flip Julian Strouthard in a heartbeat. But like what I mean is like just getting maybe one more person in here. Zeke Naji, someone who's just going to play defense, give a little bit of attitude, and just kind of come in. But here's the big thing. You're missing two of your best defenders.
Yes.
In AG and
Christian.
CB and Christian Brown. So what do you expect? The defense is going to take a toll. Like anybody who's going to lose their best couple defenders and two starters at that. Now Jamal's out for hopefully not too long. You're down three starters. And if you can sustain and just continue to win at like a, 7 of 10 pace, I think you did your job. And you get them healthy. You go into January, get that regel, and continue on. And the latent function of it is that Cam Johnson was having a tough time finding his way on this team for the first month and some change. And ever since, CB went down specifically, once CB went down, now you see that Cam Johnson's starting to find his rhythm with this team. He's starting to create like some chemistry and a connection with Jokic, and starting to find his way in court on the ball, his way on the court, find the ball, making his touches, hitting his threes. So I think the Lord works in mysterious ways. Basketball gods work in mysterious ways, and what it means to me, how I look at it, is he's getting and building those calluses and those connections with Nikola Jokic. That's going to pay dividends without those other three starters who are accustomed to have that prior working relationship with them. When it comes down to, I mean, we could look at it and see if fire is burning, whatever. But like at the end of the day, like I feel like this is a net positive.
And that's the key thing with when you play with Jokic. I realize, I'm glad you brought that point because that's a really strong point. It's that idea that players do need to get that chemistry with them, right? Because you've seen it even with Michael Porter. There was times when Jamal was out that year, 2021 or whatever year it was, when it was just Jokic, AG, and Michael Porter, and they had to hold down the playoffs. There's been times when before all these guys came around, it was just Jokic and Maul. And then you've had moments where Jokic and Bruce Brown had to get chemistry. So to Christoph's point, to see Cam finally start to figure out the Nuggets MO and how they play basketball and how they move. When those guys come back, Cam's going to see his role in the game a lot easier. He's going to be like, oh, hold up. The strategy I've been using with these guys off the court is going to make it easy for me when they're back on the court because now AG is going to have people closing in on him, or you're gonna have Christian Brown cutting, and they might stop that cut, but I'm going, the back cut on there. So you see all these things that can happen when Cam gets those moments in time. And he's not just getting it with Jokic, he's getting it with Jamal. And now Jamal is gonna feel comfortable in playing with him at the right time. I would say to your point, Jay's losing at home is tough. You know what I'm saying? We've
Tough.
lost
It's a
four
tough
now.
thing.
Four straight.
Four straight. And here's the thing: it's like, yes, we can make every excuse about Christian Brown being out or AG being out. Those are like you said, two of our three best defenders. But it's the NBA. You can't give up 130 points a night. I just don't
No,
care. Like I don't
and
care.
more
I don't care what it
specifically,
is.
you can't give up 40-point quarters. I
Yeah,
mean,
that has
we had
nothing to
one
do.
game, they had two 40-point quarters. And this last game, we had a 40-point quarter. We cannot do that.
No,
And
That's
and
all
I
effort.
know
I
it's
was gonna say, last
defense.
point. That's all effort. Like defense has always been an effort thing. It's
yeah.
never been like, of course, you gotta have talent there, but I'm saying like, if you don't show up to play defense and say, "Hey, I'm not letting my man get 20. I'm not letting my man get that rebound. I'm not gonna let that assist, that lane for the pass go through." You have to take pride in playing defense, and right now the Nuggets have nothing about that.
Yeah, I mean, Nikola Jokic hasn't and probably will never be a great defender in the sense of a center's position. He's got good hands, he's good steals, he's in passing lanes. He's really good from that standpoint. But as a rim protector, as a step out, cover the three, get back, roll defender, block the shot like that's not him. And when you don't have the coverage in your power forward and your wing defenders, you get exposed, and that's what they're being exposed. But to Dot's point, it is effort, and I know a lot of people are upset with David Adelman, but you got to remember David Adelman's in his first full season. Like he's never coached a game in November, December. And I just want like I know this is a championship team, championship DNA. We have high title aspirations for this year, but championships are not won on December 3rd. They're just not. But they could be lost. That's why it's critical to get healthy. But I think at the end of the day, we're gonna come around. It's an effort thing. I'm not hitting the panic. What would you both say, Jace? What is
Well,
like on a scale of 1 to 10, like 10 being burned down the house, one being like you're 21-1. Like what's your panic at right
I
now?
don't have a panic. I think I'd rather talk strategy. I don't know. I'm not panicked or anything. I just want the strategy to be right while we're down three starters. And I should stop saying down three starters because I'm looking at the game right now live. They're playing the Pacers in Indianapolis, and Jamal Murray's on screen. So he is there. We'll see how that ankle is. He wasn't. The injury report just has AG Strother and CB Christian Brown. So, but Murray's in the starting five is Cam, him, Peyton, and Jones. So here's what I think. I think that we all need to make sure that everyone, no matter if they start or not, needs to know their role. And I think the other night while we lost, and we might have gotten the points we got because of it, but that's okay. But we lost because yes, defense, but yes, specifically the role of Peyton Watson
Yep.
is to be a defender. Period. The role of Spencer Jones is to be a defender, and so do that first. And then if you make some shots, great. And Spencer was on. He had a lot of threes.
Yeah.
And Peyton's three ball is getting better, and he's better in offense. But don't forget your defense trying to do the offense to try to help us win, because that's not going to help us win. What help us win is the two-man game between Joker and Jamal, and everyone else cutting, defending, and rolling and kicking the ball around and not getting it stuck. That's how we play. That's how the Nuggets play.
No, I said to your point, you're absolutely right. I think what's also going on, Nuggets are scoring at a high clip too. It's not like they're getting blown out where they're not putting anything up on the offensive side. So to your point, these guys got to just lock in defensively and not think you're an offensive guy all day long. Because like
No,
Kane
exactly.
Watson, I'll take 14 points from you if you're locking up if you're
Correct.
locking up your defender for 10.
Right.
Same with Spencer Jones. I can take 8 points from you if you're gonna lock up your defender. I mean, up your
Right.
the guy you're guarding. If we can just get that together, We're gonna get on a roll because right now we play the Pacers, then we play the Hawks, then we play the Hornets, then we play the Kings. We should win three of the next four games, if not all four of them, right? And then we go play the Rockets closer to Christmas. So what I'm saying is, if we can just get this done, we're on a nice East Coast conference basketball teams that we're playing. I don't know if some are home, some are away, or whatever. But those are winnable games that we got to take care of, especially tonight against the Pacers, who are 4-17. I know they went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, but I mean to NBA Finals last year, but
And they play with pace. They can score.
we can't let them beat us. We can't
No, I don't
we
think.
can't lose to a four and
Yeah,
14 team.
you don't want to stack win. You don't want to stack L's. That's the truth. But I'm at this point in the season. Here's my thing. It was my thing last season. I've watched the Nuggets lose a game seven on their home court twice
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
2019 and again in 2024. 2024. Yeah,
No, we've
20
lost
no,
to Thunder this
2024.
year. We've
No,
lost
2025 would have been it would have been this year.
to 24, 25, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
they lost.
but
You're saying they lost
no,
on
I'm
their home
saying
court
in
to
2024
Minnesota,
against Minnesota, right? I watched that occur.
OKC.
So
Yeah.
I'm not pressed over seeding. I'm more I want lessons and I want chemistry into what you just said, Jay's strategy. I
Yes,
want to see DA getting better. I want to see how DA is able to
definitely. We're not letting him off the hook.
assert
I'm not.
himself in that locker room where they start to respect him, how he gets coaches with the X and O's, specifically the defensive X and O's. I want to see how Rodney Billups and Jared Dudley and these new coaches, how do they come around and create, these defensive game plans? How do we rally around and form into shape? Like once more, I don't want to be peaking right now.
No.
I want to be learning lessons. I
Yeah.
want to be able to look at this team and say, yes, they're getting better. Yes, they're flawed in these areas, and see how they progress and get better throughout the season. So if they
Yes.
lose tonight, I'm not gonna burn it down. If they fall down towards the seventh, eighth backside of the play in, whatever, they have time to make up ground because they could win 20 of 22 in January into February or February into March, and they're
Yeah.
talking about the hot team going into this, and they can make up that standing and make up that ground. That's not my issue. My issue is like, how are we getting better at the little things that it won't show in the box score? It's the more the cerebral, the thought, the communication, the behind the scenes inside that locker
I
room.
think the Nuggets gonna have that much of a slide. Like they're honestly just too talented this year, and you see it. Like they most of the time when they're losing, they are just beating themselves. So like even in those games where you lose to Dallas, you let them score 131. That game doesn't have to be a loss. Like these are games that are winnable games, and I think that's
Yeah.
what some of the fan
Well,
frustration is. But like to your point, my panic button is like a one. You know, what I'm saying it really is a zero. I'm just literally watching the Nuggets for what they are right now. And as you say, we got two guys out. We're holding on, and our bench has been great most of
yeah.
the season. So like that is just a true
Yeah,
north that the Nuggets have not had in years.
mine is
So
like a
there's no real worry about these Nuggets. It's literally just saying, hey, to your point, it's on. If there's any panic, it's like DA to what y'all saying. You got to get to a point where you can
Yes.
motivate these guys not to give up 131 points night in and
And
night
just
out.
know your team. The best teams that win championships, they know how they play. You ask Oklahoma City right now, anybody on that team right now, how do we play? We run the ball up and down. We're a defensive team, really.
we
We
shoot
know how
free
to
throws.
defend. We do get to the free throw line and we shoot threes. But
We
we're
hack.
young and we run. Remember when George Carr was here?
We
That was
foul
our
a lot.
Yeah,
strategy. Oh yeah, foul line.
because you could.
That was our strategy to run. You come to Denver, it's altitude. All
We're
this
not
stuff.
like that
We
no
got to
more.
run them. Well,
No.
we can't run them now with Joker because him and Jamal have a set way they
But
play
that's
and
why we're
win.
so dangerous in the playoffs. Because when the game slows down, we play the Nuggets play playoff basketball.
Yeah,
That's why when you go against the Thunder, when Thunder think they should run all these teams in the NBA, they're like, "Whoa, the Nuggets is tough." Because the Nuggets play like a playoff team every night. Like that's how their
Mhm.
style of basketball is.
And the Thunder just won a championship, so I can't say what I wanted to say, but they play regular season basketball. They do. They're athletic, they're deep,
They're
they're
young
talented, they're young. They can outrun
and they're
you.
only getting
If
younger.
you want to play a close game, now they know how to play those.
They know how to play
They're
the
deep.
refs.
Yeah, they know how to play the refs. They could get you in that game. They're physical. They can throw bodies at you. So they play a
And the
brand of
NBA
basketball.
Christoph and the NBA scheduled us way into the season. When is it? When do
Yeah.
we
That's the only
see?
reason I wanted to win the tournament or get deep in the tournament. I wanted to play the Thunder, but I guess it doesn't matter if you don't have AG or Christian
Yeah,
Wood.
like it would have been a false
Yeah,
look
it
at it.
wouldn't have been.
I
So
put I placed my panic at 2. Obviously, it's not cushy. The injuries kind of concern me a little bit. DA, he's growing his growing pains. I'm not worried about it, but like, something I'm monitoring. I could care less about the national media. For all the Nuggets fans listening to this pod, screw the national media. Like they've never liked us. They started to like us because we made the off. We had a good off season, and they wanted to like seem smart. They thought we'd be 20-2 right now.
They didn't
But
expect
guess
the Thunder to
what?
be so
It's
good
you
again.
forget that teams are good and they play into what we were just saying. They play a brand of basketball that
yes,
it's not always conducive, especially when you don't play defenses or you have lulls. Like they have a brand of basketball that's conducive for a setting where it's we need to beat you 4 out of 7 games.
yeah.
Sometimes on a Tuesday night in December, you might get us because we'll have a lapse of 40-point quarter
Or
and you guys
we
will
would have been on the road for the last
Or
two, three
Devin
weeks.
Vassell might have the best quarter of his life and just knock down all the threes
Yeah,
in the world. Like you have it, bro. But at the end of the day, I'm not concerned about this Nuggets team, nor should you be. I think it's the underlying currents. Like I said, I would love to get a Josh
Can
Okogie
we?
or someone who just comes in, just plays defense, and that's all they do. Not even a 3 and D, just play defense. Because the emergence of the offensive threat that is P. Watt, I didn't see coming. I gave
I
up on
did.
it.
I
I
did.
gave up on it, to be honest with
Go
you.
check the first podcast. I said he's the X factor.
Go
you
check the
did say
pod
it.
for me. I said I gave up on him playing offense.
No, I saw how he had a big jump in the offseason. You could tell his bag was getting it, and he was being more assertive about what he was doing with the basketball. But no, I want to get into something. I'm glad you went into PWAL because I want to talk a little bit about some of the bench players before we go through because Spencer Jones is lighting it up. I don't think
He's
it's
like
fair for us to
he's coming
not
into his own.
for us not to talk about that on this podcast is crazy. Like he had back-to-back games with his career high. He almost had a double-double. He almost had his first NBA double-double. This man was a two-way G League back of the bench guy just last year. Started moving his way up towards the end of the season, and now he's starting as a Nugget. So what are
Yeah.
you seeing, James, from
Well, first
Spencer
of
that
all,
you're enjoying?
against the Mavericks the other night, he had 28 points and he had 4 out of 6 3 points. He hit all his free throws. So and he was in for 38 minutes. He was a stalwart in that game. And so he has the skills. So I'm back to strategy. I'm just gonna you put him in. Once AG gets back, he comes off the bench right there with AG for AG in my mind because he should have learned now to play with Joker while AG is out here. You know,
Yeah, I guess he's a forward. He's listed as a forward. He looks like a guard, but they
he's
got
a
him as a
forward.
forward.
He's a forward. I mean, he could be a small forward and on a
Small
team if you
forward,
have
yeah.
bigger guys like an AG. But if AG's out, he plays that forward position because
Yeah,
Cam's
he'll be there.
playing the three, and you know, and P Watt is the twos. I know it could go back and forth between him and Cam, but I think Cam. That's what I'm saying. Cam needs to play his position, and P Watt just knows in his head this is not my position, but I'm coming in to be a starter because CB's out and I need to defend because CB took everybody who was the best guard or the best, he would take SGA. He would take the best guard. He would take Luca if we were seeing them.
Yeah. That's what P.
Uh,
Watt got to start doing. I mean, you
that's
got to
what
take
he
the
has
best.
to
You
be.
at least while CB's gone, you got to go take the
Exactly.
best guy.
And just think how that would work when CB comes back. Now you have P. Watt in that defensive mindset, so he's going to help or take someone else. I just think that knowing your role is going to be much more valuable than anything we can learn during this stretch of injured Nuggets.
Yeah. And what about Tim Hardaway? How are you feeling about Tim
I
Hardaway?
love him. I think
Yeah.
he's a great bench guy. I think when they had him, starting when Cam and they were trying to figure it out, we figured it out. Cam is the starter. Tim is on come off the
And he's
bench
that
because we need him off
microwave.
the bench.
We've
We
never.
need
I
him
don't think
from the
we've
bench.
had. I mean, I don't know. The NBA is so hard, but like Tim Hardaway, he's played like a six man if I ever seen one. You got
Yeah,
to think about it. Like even against the Suns, he had 23 points and three rebounds, but 23 points off the bench.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's doing this more times than not. Like it's not like he's not having he's not having bad games. Like, over and over again, he's been a huge spark off this bench.
No, I think everybody, because Big Val's been great. Brucey B's been good. I think everybody's doing exactly what they need to. I think once this is like I said, this will be a good couple. This will be a good month and some change for Cam to kind of get his ways. And now we have a big pickup with Spencer Jones. I
Yeah.
think that's, in my opinion, that has made. I want to see Deron Holmes get a little bit more run.
Yeah.
And if he's going to stay up here with in the
He keeps
big
going
leagues,
back
I know
down.
he keeps going up and down, but if he's going to stay in the big leagues, I would like to see him get some more run. And I think the emergence of Spencer Jones, who be hacking a little bit, but that's neither here nor true. He be hacking. That's neither here nor there. But like the emergence of him as a defender, as well as when he could shoot his brain is
So
out.
so
But
let's
like
talk about that
I
bench.
would think that that has made, and not a lot of Nuggets fans agree with me. It has made Julian Strawther expendable, in my opinion.
Oh, I think. See, here's the thing. And I've said this for every podcast. I think Julian Stroughton has all the game in the world. I think he's another one of those moments what we're seeing with Michael Porter now. He goes on to
Uh,
another team with 20, 25 minutes. You're gonna be like, oh, why did the Nuggets even get rid of him?
yeah,
It's just like
Yeah.
there's not a true spot for him on the Nuggets, and that's just it's
foreshadow.
unfortunate for him. It's unfortunate for the Nuggets as a whole.
Foreshadowing, there's another player like that we'll talk about in a moment in
In a
the
minute.
Nuggets.
Not yet, though.
But
We're gonna
like,
talk about the
yes,
bench.
it's truly that. And sometimes it does take. You can look at in the Jokic era. You can look at Hartenstein. You can look at there's a few others. There's
No,
not
we're
too
talking
many.
Gillespie,
guys. Yeah,
Hell,
Sam
Gillespie.
Jay
Huff.
Huff for a little
Yeah,
bit.
Sam
Like
Huff.
yeah.
We're gonna
Gillespie.
save it for not
Yeah, but like
Nuggets.
these players, yeah, Monte even had some good seasons away, or
Monty.
Bones kind of. Bones is always gonna be
Maybe we should
Bones.
have never got rid of Colin Gillespie for Julian Pickett either. I
We're
think that
not
would have
not
been another one to keep on the
yeah, we're
team.
not Nuggets yet, but
Yeah.
I mean,
yes.
he's a
But
former.
that is factual. Choosing him over Pickett was not smart. But also to that point is like they don't develop. You don't know if he develops, if
That's
it's the
fair.
coaching,
Right.
if you know the water in Arizona sucks. I could attest to that. Maybe it's something in the water. Maybe it's something like the rehab vicinity or the facility he goes
The
to. You
confidence.
don't the confidence, how he's being spoken to inside that in
We
that
see
building.
that in
We
Denver.
don't. Yeah, he had the flashes, and obviously he was a winner. I think he won 2 championships in college. It was
Yeah.
always there. He came and won a championship. It was just like he needed a little bit more development. And
He was boxed out by the coach. Let's call it what it is, bro.
whatever,
Yeah.
whatever it is, sometimes those players go elsewhere. They get the minutes they need,
Yeah.
they get the care they
Yeah.
need, and they start to turn into the player
They
that they
definitely go
are.
get the
Like
minutes.
Hartenstein,
Like
probably
Hardenstein.
about to win a darn defensive player of the year.
Yeah, Hardenstein's
One of the
Exhibit
Nuggets.
A. Everybody, if you get on Twitter, you especially Brooklyn Nets Twitter, everybody loves him, Michael Porter Jr. And let me check really quickly. Yes, they have 4 wins. So you know what I mean? Like players they go places and they show their
We
skills.
all need
And
to.
I hope that Julian Strawther, I would trade him. Obviously, I would trade him initially to Phoenix, but I think if Strawther makes his way to Detroit, that'd be a good
Man, there's so
situation
many
for.
places he could play and he could ball out. I honestly, I'm really high on Julian Strawther, the basketball player, but I'm becoming even lower than I've always been with him as a Nugget because again, there's just not a good role for him here. There's
No.
not a good
And
role.
y'all are making the point that I'm gonna say this
Respectfully.
pod is making about this strategy that we're talking about. And I'm gonna start it to coach for me. David Adelman is doing a good job, but I think he is learning right now that Malone harped on defense all the time and
Yeah.
he got it when he needed it. But I think that his style is not that. So he needs to find his style to motivate these guys to always
To be
play
fair,
If
we
you
got a bunch of
defense.
coaches on our team that ain't like. I mean, maybe Dudley was the only one that was like really a defense. I mean, Barea was all right. I guess there's some
Yeah,
people.
Berea
Somebody
was.
got to call out the defense. I don't know. It
They
might
do.
like to your point. I'll just try to see.
But
Or,
did you
or call
hear?
out that you can't have a 41 point or
Yeah,
42
we gave
point
up two. We gave up
quarter.
two of them against
Quarter.
Spurs. We gave up a 41
Yes.
point and a 44
You
point.
know,
Yeah.
I felt Coach Malone smiling the other night after I think it was after the
Yeah.
Dallas or San Antonio game. I think it was the Dallas where DA said in his presser that they need to be more physical. I was like, oh, Coach Malone, like I felt like Palpatine. He's like, good,
Yeah,
Yeah.
say the word. Say the
Well,
word.
say it. How were they
he didn't
playing?
have to he didn't have to be
They're
Coach
playing a
Malone.
four-letter word. Do it.
Say it.
It
Yeah,
wasn't have to
say
be
it.
Coach Malone. It was going to be the Boo Birds in Ball Arena because the fans know that that's not going to
Bob,
get
last
it.
point on the whole roster construction, because I think the Nuggets are like 95% there. Ben Tenzer and what do we call him, Ben Wallace. You know that Ben Wallace two-headed combination in
Mm.
Denver. They ain't playing around. They watching, and then when it gets to the playoff, when it gets to the trade deadline, best believe they're gonna be like, we need a defender. Apparently, we need some type of rebounding. We're gonna need some type of backup point
Well,
guard. Unless I mean Bruce Brown has done it better in the last like two
he
games
has.
as
He's
a
been coming
backup point
along.
guard.
He's
It
coming
just
along.
depends. Like we could get a true backup point guard, or we can get someone else. But
Thanks for
moral
saying that.
story, we're gonna have to trade in either Strother, Zeke Naji, or Jalen Pickett. Some of that three combination, or even picks to get one more player that's going to be a rebounder and a defender on that
But a
No,
team.
Hall of
I
Famer
it,
just got released today.
Who?
A future Hall of Famer just
Are you
got
trying to go
released.
into non-Nuggets now?
no,
Well, this is
before
a
we get
Nuggets.
into that,
We're in
like I just want to
Nuggets.
say one point to
This is
that is
Nuggets.
that if you really look at it, I have faith in this in Ben Wallace. And I really do believe that they have a good pulse on this team, and they look at it how we see it, and they see more of it because they see behind the scenes. They watch how they built this, they constructed this roster. I don't think they're going to sit on their thumb like a past idiot we had in that job, and they're going to do something. And if they don't do anything, I still trust their belief in it because they
Well,
showed me during the offseason they got their guys. And if they do something at the deadline or close to it, I have faith in whatever it is because they haven't given me any reason not to have faith in them yet.
Well, we have an open roster spot, and somebody just fell into their laps today because I think he was released by the Clippers. He gave his notice that this was going to be his last season yesterday or the day before, and then the Clippers released him today. So when you release someone, you no longer own the rights to them. Is that correct?
Yeah,
There's more to that though.
can we before we get into that and we officially go to non-Nuggets, can I have one PSA to all the Nuggets listeners, all the Nuggets
Sure,
fans
but
listening right
I'd
now?
still say this could be Nuggets. But go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say breathe and leave DA alone. He's getting into it. There's no need to run a head coach out of town right now.
Who's
Relax.
out here? Who's out
But
here
nobody's
running?
running them
There
out.
ain't
We're
nobody
just
running.
all we're doing
There's
is
people I maybe in the deep depths of Nuggets Twitter, but like and if you guys are on that, relax. The
no.
dude is not even coached 20. He's almost only coached about
It's fair to
20
give him
games in the NBA.
criticism, but I get what you're saying.
Criticism is true, but don't
Yeah.
have to say fire the dude.
I never mentioned that word. I
Relax.
just said he has to be better at. Remember Malone? It took him a while to call timeouts when he couldn't feel the momentum changing. And we were like 5 plays, up and backs on the court. We were like, you should have called it like 5 times before this. He's late to the game. If he does not see that Brucey B is getting better, learning, getting comfortable. Cam's turned to got starting to get going. They need to stay where they need to stay, and you need to just like make sure they understand what offense comes with defense, and defense
Yeah.
is the leader to your
Yeah,
offense,
to your
and
point.
that's just how this team is. And
Yeah.
if you
Use your
don't do
timeout.
that, I'm sitting you. I'm
Yeah.
going to sit you because if I was the coach and I saw three that in the last week, 40 some point quarters, so they would be sitting, and I'd put somebody out there that's going to play it.
Yeah.
That would be me.
Take care of your timeouts. Make sure you're watching momentum because what you're talking about, a lot of like Pop's a good example of Pop's not gonna let you score 130 points because he's gonna
No.
use all 6 of his timeouts.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna be like, nah, we ain't doing this today. You're on an 8 point run, timeout.
No,
Slowing down the game will keep the team from getting
Yes. And they
no,
were
no,
up for
last,
each of those games. They
he's
were
done
up
a good job of
18 and
letting them figure out
17
the.
and 20
Oh yeah, go
points. They
ahead, my
were
bad.
up on the team. They were
yeah.
up on those teams. So that's a coaching issue to me. And I'm not saying he needs to be fired at all. I'm just
Heck
saying he
no.
just needs to
No,
be
I
better.
think I to that point, the one thing one of my criticisms of him is when you're the assistant coach, you can be their friends, you can be likable. When you're the head coach, people aren't gonna like you. Players, you're gonna get into rubs. Your dad could tell you that. You call him, he could tell you all about it. Rick Allen had the Jailblazers. You know what I mean? Oh no, he didn't. He had the Kings. He had the early '90s Blazers. But my thing is this: you need to get you need to like really fire these dudes up. If that's
Yeah.
getting in Nikola Jokic's face and telling him to play some defense,
Yes.
I
It's
don't
whatever it
care. I
needs
don't
to
care
be.
about how good you are offensively. Step up and play some defense. If you had to do that and they show that, wow, he's gonna get in his face, the four-time, three-time MVP,
Yeah.
this
The
is
the
the all world, all NBA, all
the player
universe
of the month
NBA
for
player.
November,
You
October,
know what I
November.
mean? Then what does he really think of me, Peyton Watson? What does he really think of me, Cam Johnson? That's that Spencer Jones. That's what I would say. I would say him like don't be everybody's friends, and maybe that's his media personality. That's all I see. But you need to like start carry a big stick, as Theodore Roosevelt would say.
Yep. Well, the
Yeah.
good news is right now the Nuggets are up 33 to 24. Jamal Murray is playing really well. He's already off to 8 points in the first quarter. Nikola Jokic is doing his thing with 6 points as well as Cam Johnson. So hopefully we can take care of this game against the Pacers tonight. Let's go into some not Nuggets. Jays, as you kind of alluded to it, Chris Paul has got removed. I don't know what you want to call it. Kicked off,
Fired,
fired from the
Released and they pick
release.
something.
There's the word we're going for. Uh,
canned.
from the Clippers. I was gonna add to your point though. Sounds like him and Ty Lue were actually had some back and forth. They had a little beef, and it wasn't working. And I guess he was trying to do a lot of in team coaching. I guess with Chris Paul trying
Uh,
to get them together and
Chris Paul doing
play,
micromanaging?
play only
No.
player only meetings and stuff. And he said we ain't doing all that. So Chris Paul's gone. What do you what's your thoughts on Chris Paul? Like I mean. Is
here's what I'm gonna
is he gonna
say.
walk up into the sunset? Like what
Here's what
team
I'm gonna
wants
say.
him, or
If
if
I
not,
told
what's his
you,
career?
if
What
I
you put
told you, we know we have one roster spot. We need a backup point guard. If I told you you could get Chris Paul because the Clippers released him, and you're the GM, why aren't you on the phone? Why I don't care about his personality type. We could handle that. We had some personality types before over the years at
It's a
Nuggets.
hard maybe for me.
Christoph don't know if you want him, and now
It's a hard
I'm in the
maybe for
middle
me.
now.
And you want to know why? Because the dude ain't got no championships. And at a point, you got to look at there's some bad juju that come along with that. I don't
No,
want I'm telling you the truth. Like, dude ain't got a championship. Like, if he had a championship,
you didn't keep that
he
same
had a
energy with
winner.
Russ last year, did you?
I didn't, because Russ was chasing a
And
championship.
Russ is still, yeah, he's still
Yeah, he's
playing
still
extra.
chasing a
Yeah,
championship. I feel like CP3 is in the swan song of his career. He happy to he needs to go to OKC.
We only need him
That's
to
what I would say.
play Christoph and Kata. We only need him to
He
play
doesn't
what?
solve any of the issues that
15, 20
Nuggets
minutes a
have.
game, 15, 20 minutes as a backup release
No,
relief for Murray. That's it.
I
no.
That
was
can
big.
just run a team.
I think I was more likely to say yes to Chris Paul as a Nuggets backup before the season started. Now I'm a little bit out. I would say I'm more out than in. Um, I would rather say, I don't know, I'd rather have even Monte Morris come back if we're just picking like people to come play backup point
And
guard.
yeah, I'd be happy for Monte too.
'Cause at
I'd be
least
happy for
Monte's got
Monte.
he got more of a step left in him.
Monte, and
He's a
that
little
wouldn't fit.
faster.
That wouldn't fit Christoph's criteria because Monte doesn't have a
Yeah,
championship either.
He's a young
Monte
guy.
Young,
He's a
yeah.
young guy. I'm surprised we didn't go get Nimhard, his brother, because that
Well, he
was
was firing it
perfect
up.
pickup.
Well, we can't get him now. He was firing it up
He was
yesterday.
a undrafted free agent. After
Monday, sorry.
everybody and their mom just watched his brother kill everybody
Yeah.
well,
If
not
we're gonna
everybody,
talk about
but
great
still.
brothers, like Seth Curry was available, they didn't go get him either.
Yeah, but Steph Curry don't really like change. He don't really change the
And
outcome.
Well, I don't think
you
you knew
think
that
Nembhard
Nembhard was
does?
going to
You
change the
think
I mean, he
game
had
until he
28 points
signed.
last night. That was big.
that was his welcome to the league moment. Like
No, I'm saying as a,
Spencer Jones had 28.
I mean, like picking him up as a backup undrafted guard would have been nice to have. I'm saying I'm surprised not just the Nuggets. I was saying in general. I'm surprised not more teams didn't go after him based on
Mhm.
how good his brother played in the playoffs.
Yeah, but he last his
Under that reasoning, Michael Jordan's son should win #1 overall, bro.
oh boy, here you go.
So
But
who do
he
you think?
was he a playing a point or was he was bringing the ball up a couple of times. He wasn't setting plays though. He
He
was just
balled
coming
out.
up and
That's all
firing.
what it is.
He was a shooting
He
guard.
fired the Nuggets up. Like I should tread lightly. He had a great game versus the Nuggets, but also at the same time, like that's gonna happen. Everybody missed on him, and he stepped up. Like
And
congrats,
nobody played
no hate.
defense, and CB wasn't there, and he's not going to have that same game next time we see him ever.
What's your
So,
thoughts? What's your thoughts about Giannis?
um, I don't know if Doc has exceeded his welcome in Milwaukee or not.
I think he's very much so.
I think that they are not playing for their coach. Nothing's wrong with Giannis. Giannis is still Giannis. He's going to be the tank coming down the lane and doing his thing. I
Now,
think that
did you see
he
the new
lost that
news?
locker room.
There's yeah, there's new
I
news
think
coming
Doc
out.
lost the locker room.
No, there's new news coming out that Giannis is thinking about trying to get traded.
Well, of course. I mean, he's unhappy.
Giannis accelerates Bucks trade possibilities
He's
after his Knicks
unhappy.
interest. He's unhappy. He's been unhappy for a long time in Milwaukee.
I think, I mean, I want to tread lightly, because
When Luka gets
we'll
traded, you
say
gotta assume anybody can.
no. That yes, what I would say is because the Nuggets and Milwaukee aren't far off. They're relatives. They're both mid-level, markets in the NBA that 20 years ago players would kill themselves if they had to go there. And then you get fortunate this late lottery pick that no one knows how to say his name turns into a Greek god and delivers you a championship, and you don't do anything with it. We have a Serbian deity who's given us a championship. We're trying to do something. We're trying to get more out of it, right? The Bucks, they tried to get more out of it. They went out and got Dame. They didn't like their coach, Adrian, whatever. But he had them at what was it, 30 and 13 when he got
Adrian
fired?
Griffin.
Adrian Griffin. Then you bring in Doc and immediately started losing. He lost the locker room and does what Doc does. Even though Doc Hall of Famer, I'm not gonna too much trash on his name. But you guys, they failed him. They failed him. This is going on 5 years since the championship, and he doesn't see a change in sight that he wants.
That's
So he
right.
wants,
That's what it
so he
is.
wants, so he wants, so he wants a change in scenery, and this is coming from him. And I pray it doesn't happen to Nikola Jokic this way. I hope we're able to get it done this year and deliver a championship, or continue to do what is needed to get him a championship in the
Oh, it's
next two to
hope.
three years,
I think. I
right?
think.
Because in a few years we're gonna be 5 years removed from a championship, and if we didn't do everything we needed to get him another one, then Jokic should start saying, "Hey, I want to go elsewhere." So that's why I tread lightly on this one. And the Milwaukee Bucks, sadly, have let him down, and it's gonna be back to purgatory for them if they lose him.
Well, here's the thing. Joker won't do that because Joker understands the reason why the team is the way it is at the moment is because of injuries. So I think he's smarter than that. I think he's going to take this. Everybody should just take this moment to do something that is constructive for the future team that will come back with AG and CB. And their dates are scheduled for early January.
No, I'm saying they're a couple years removed from being at that point. I'm not saying this year's
Yeah.
Nuggets is this year's Milwaukee Bucks. What I'm saying is that the front office of the Bucks have failed Giannis to the point where he's frustrated and he's looking for other options. I say it's as close to the chest because if the Nuggets don't succeed in the next 3 years, we could be looking at the same situation that Milwaukee's in currently.
Okay. If that's your
That's
point, next couple
that's my
years,
point.
yeah,
That's
not
my
this
point.
one.
And if I personally, if you go to the Knicks, I don't know if you'll be frustrated just in New York because not only will you be frustrated because they're going to take a lot to get you, and that's
Yeah.
the that's the that's the catch 22 with big players moving. Uh, somehow the Lakers finessed and fleeced,
Yeah, as long
but
as most of the time, it costs you a lot.
yeah, most of it takes you a lot, and you don't get much in return. So then
Don't say it because
then you have this
AD
big
took us out
name.
the other day when we played San Antonio. So that AD always stays hurt. That's half his problem when you
Mhm.
say
No,
fleeced.
AD's healthy. He's a top 75
I
player
think
of all
that's why it
time.
worked because they were able to trade star for star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were able to give a little bit less, but
Yeah. But you're gonna trade Brunson, but then who's gonna play with Giannis? Like they were able to keep LeBron. Yes, LeBron year 22,
mhm.
but like who do you keep? You trade Brunson and you keep Bridges. I don't think that's gonna keep you. I think you have to have Brunson and Giannis if he's gonna go to the Knicks.
They got
Or
about
you do like Philadelphia. you draft well when you like Maxie has he's Batman. He has his Robin with him that
Yeah.
he got. So it's doable if you draft well to
But
get
the
people. It won't
Milwaukee
be
doesn't
this
have it.
year.
Milwaukee doesn't have any control of their picks until 2031.
No, I'm talking
So
about if he got moved, if you traded him for a bunch of people to
Or you
New
got
York.
move him to Golden State. Maybe Curry would love that.
yeah, wherever you get trade him, you got to restockpile
Yeah.
because the team that we've been alluding to all pod 21-1, sitting on top of the NBA like a golden throne, the defending champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder, team I do not like. Don't like them in a hat. Don't like them.
Don't like him like
Don't
that.
like
I
what
don't
the
like them
hat,
like
don't
that.
like what,
Not like that.
and don't
But the
look at
thing is, but
mm,
if you cannot, you truly, as much as I do not like them, I cannot sit here and say, as a basketball fan or even a sports fan, they've done it beyond correct.
Yeah, they have.
They've done it beyond correct. They have it. They traded. They flipped their big assets. They got a young budding star in return. Did they know that that person would turn into,
no, they
MVP,
didn't.
one of the best players of the
That they
last
moved
20
out
years?
Paul
They
George.
didn't
They
know
moved
that.
out
They
Paul
did not
George
know
for that.
that, but somehow they got him back. They've been stockpiling picks. They've made good free agency moves. They've drafted extremely well. They still have the chance to have three, I repeat that, three lottery picks
They
this
probably have
year.
Boozer's son on their team next
If
year.
they can, including the number one overall pick, that's like some 1982
Lakers.
Lakers stuff
Get James Worthy.
where they win the championship, get the number one pick, and get James Worthy. You
Yep.
know what I
She's
mean?
saying
Like,
there's a chance. She's saying there's a chance that the Nuggets need to get this done this year
Yeah.
because we have the squad at the young age that we have and the season
It's
that
a good year to
Joker's
win a
having. I just
championship.
told you he
yeah,
was the NBA, he was the Western Conference player of, and it was the little bit of October and all of November of the month.
no,
Um, and
they're gonna get
we can't
70
waste
wins.
it. We just can't
They're gonna
waste
get
it.
70 wins. They're gonna end somewhere between 70 and 76 wins. I don't see this team losing.
So you think you're gonna break the record?
Yeah, I can see them breaking the record. I can see them breaking the record for sure. I think they'll probably get between 70 and 76
You
wins.
know, the last team that won the broke the record didn't win a
And
championship.
my thing is I think they're gonna coast. And when adversity hits, like then they're gonna be like, oh, we had to do this last year. But like last year ain't this year. And you have a team like the Nuggets who had to battle through adversity, who has new players on their team, who has a new coach, who's I think this is bolding well for the Nuggets in the scheme of life. Maybe I'm just a if you're listening to this, you're just like me. You're a degenerate Nuggets fan. And if you're a degenerate Nuggets fan, the only way you can look at the NBA world is through degenerate eyes of being a beloved Nuggets fan. And how I look at this is like, I want you guys to coast. I want you guys to win as many games as possible. Make them as easy as possible. So when a buzzsaw with adversity, who knows how to play close games, who have been through a lot together, they'll take you. They'll take you in 7 games. Even if it has to be 7 games at your home floor.
I'm taking your Joker shirt, your Joker tee. I'm taking it because they don't need the help of all the people they're getting help from, i.e., the refs. The refs. I'm sorry. They get more free throws than we get in 3-4 games.
Did you not hear what I just said? I said this bodes well for the Nuggets beating them.
Okay. I missed that because all I just heard the glowing references to how good they are
Oh
and
no,
why
no.
they're
No,
gonna.
I think we're all saying the same thing. It's gonna come down to the Nuggets and OKC again in the West. It just is. You know, I mean,
So we're
maybe.
discounting the Lakers because the Lakers are the current
No, I
two
think the Lakers
seed.
are good. I
We're
think the Lakers.
discounting the Lakers. Right now they're 15-5.
Not that I'm
We're discounting
discounting.
Houston, who've been discounted ever since oh boy went down with his
I'm not
injury,
discounting.
and we're
I'm
discounting
not
San
saying.
Antonio, who just beat the Nuggets.
No, I'm not discounting those teams. What I'm saying is when it all comes set, when we get to June and July, and there's only two teams in the West, it's gonna be the Nuggets and the Thunder. That's all I'm saying. That's not a discount. That means the Nuggets are gonna have to go through those teams to win a championship. Just like the Thunder got to go through those teams to meet the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. All I'm saying is that that's what we're looking at. And if the Nuggets continue to do what we're doing, get healthy at the right time, for all I care, AG can sit out till February if it means he's healthy. If you know what I'm saying, like I really don't care that much. As long as the Nuggets stay competitive and keep playing well, and when it's time to start playing meaningful basketball, we have our guys gelling at the right time. That's all that matters.
I agree with you, but one last thing before we go, I'm gonna say it again. They don't need no help. They don't. SGA doesn't need any help.
They get the
They don't
reps.
need any help getting to the free
They
throw
they get they
line.
get the rep.
They don't need any help. Please
Just
let
like
them
they
just
say with the
win
Chiefs.
on their own merits.
Just like they say with the Chiefs, that you gotta beat them and the refs. Like it's become clear that the Nuggets got to beat. They got to beat the
I
Thunder,
but to that
the
point,
Thunder and the refs.
I
That's
just
it.
don't understand why the refs love them. Like they're in a small
That
market.
is love AG. I mean SGA.
SGA is whatever. I mean I think there's confidence and there's arrogance. I watched the starting five. And he just rubbed me the wrong way. It was just like he's just so arrogant. It's like, oh, all my team's gonna come over. They're gonna shop in my closet. And like and then when I
Well,
watch
they've
them
been up for
celebrate,
so long. That's
and then
why
when I
they're
watch,
arrogant.
then I watch them celebrate the championship, and they're not drinking beer. It's like you guys don't deserve to win. Like you guys don't. You guys are soft. Like
Oh
I
my
don't like
goodness.
you guys. I really don't like them. They hack. They suck. I just don't like them.
I
They
think
I don't
bully
like
ball.
I
them.
They
don't think
bully
that
ball
It's
defense.
surprisingly
Oh,
how they got hated so fast because they're so unlikable to me. Like there's not a likable character on there. I like Caruso. I like Hartenstein, and I think
he's a
you might be seeing
hacker.
a trend there. So I'm gonna throw somebody else in there. I do like Lou Dort.
you
Lou
don't like
Dort.
Jalen Williams or J Dub.
No, I don't like J
No,
Dub.
J Dub.
J Dub is actually
You
those are
like Dort?
Twiddledee and Twiddledum. I like
Oh,
Dort because I honestly this is gonna now you're gonna say I'm really gonna take away your jersey. When he had that quarter against the Nuggets, I got a lot of respect for Dort. That was he killed us, and that was respect. I like
J
Kaysen,
Dub killed us one game
and
too.
I like Wiggins too. So that's about it.
I would
I don't
like
like their coach.
I would like
No,
SGA
I want
more
the
if
coach.
he
He's
didn't.
smug. Smug
Mom,
as a
I'm kind of
bug.
like you. I would like SGA more if he didn't get away with that elbow pusher, and we kind of call and
Every
we try
and
to
people
act like it's not a foul
I
on
hear
him.
people talking about it like
That's an offensive
constantly, and
foul
they
a
still
lot of
haven't done
times.
anything about it. I mean, even at the halftime of the game last night, they played. They came in and they were talking about the elbow pushing. I'm like, everybody sees it. Everybody, just stop. NBA, they don't need your help. They're going to win the end season. They already won the championship last year. They do not
That's
need your
it.
help.
And even if he gets away with the elbow push, don't also give him the 10, 12 fouls that come along with it. Like it's like
Exactly.
either give him one or the other. He's getting both. That's what's really annoying
Yeah,
about
he
it.
Yeah,
like they're able. That's the thing I don't like about them is like they're able to hack on defense, and then you can't touch them when they're on offense.
right.
Yeah.
It's
That's
just like the tush
That's the
push,
annoying
isn't it?
thing.
Isn't it
And
like
that's
the tush
across the
push in
board. You see
football?
the Draymond got mad at it.
Yeah.
It's not just a Nuggets fan thing. It's like across
No.
the NBA.
It's like the
There's
NBA, like everyone talks about it. It's like the NBA always wants a dynasty because
Yeah.
they think their league is better when they have a dynasty. I just don't understand that logic, to be honest with you. But like, why do you have to protect them? Like, if I'd understand if you protect Luca like that.
Yeah.
If you were protecting Austin Reeves like that, it would at least
not
make.
free.
No, I'm just saying it would make more sense because they're Lakers.
Okay, I got
But like the fact you're protecting J Dub
you.
Yeah. Well, you know, maybe it's OKC. I'm
in
gonna
the
make y'all
great red
laugh.
state of Oklahoma,
I'm gonna make you
please
laugh.
get
Maybe
out
it's
of here.
OKC because they used to do this, give the same foul to James Harden.
I don't even want their
He's the
fans to be
inventor of
happy.
it.
I don't.
He's
I
the
really don't
inventor.
like. I don't like anything about OKC. Really don't. I'm sorry.
They're getting more. He's getting more foul calls than even James Harden sometimes, which is
I know.
crazy.
I know.
It's
James Harden is
absurd.
looking, sitting back, going, "Wait, that's a foul."
Yeah, James Harden's like, there's a
Absurd.
part
Oh,
in that show when him and James Harden get into it. Like James Harden's like, you can't even touch the man.
I'm saying like you can't touch this dude anymore. Like
Anyway,
so.
can he
let's
make
go.
this stuff up? Okay.
Let's go to 2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes remaining.
Coolest stat I've seen in a little bit, a good amount of time. Through 5 years in this decade, Jokic leads all players in points, rebounds, assists, triple doubles, double doubles, MVPs. The list goes on.
Steals, I believe.
Steals as well. The list goes on. Clearly, nobody has ever done this through a decade, but halfway through the decade, Jokic has been able to do this. So it's an incredibly dominant decade for Jokic. We want to look back in the history of NBA and maybe we can go around the horn and just kind of talk about it. Like, have you seen another player dominate their era? Obviously, there's one name that clearly comes to mind, but I'm just saying, have you seen another player dominate their era at the level Jokic has?
And can I do that? Because I want to say it. I'm gonna say, like everybody would have said, let's start off with the I know we're gonna have an
Low-hanging
argument,
fruit.
maybe we'll have one, but we're gonna start off with the GOAT, Jordan in the
Yep.
90s. That's he dominated that. I mean, he when he finally got that championship, it was it was over. He had the wingman, he had the team, he had all of it, and they just rolled, you know. So that's my first one. I know we have others, but let's
Yeah,
start
I
with
mean,
there.
6 championships in 8 years,
You're not gonna.
stick to six, no game sevens. It's deified in its own rare air.
Yeah.
So much so people just start making up stuff like saying he got no bag
Yeah,
or
she said no, no
he wouldn't be
bag.
able to do it now.
She ain't got more of a bag than him.
Which is, I mean, here's my thing about that. This is a sidebar about this, is that I've seen a lot of hate and there's a lot of slander. It's like, oh, he played against plumbers and Joes and stuff.
Right.
My thing is, how I look at stuff like that is like, you don't understand that people had to crawl so someone could walk, so now this league can run.
But can,
So the fact that you are able to hear it's like he didn't have this, he didn't have that. Look at how trash this was. Those players had to be able to start those leagues to get into that facility, to get that arena, to build
but
that
even
arena,
still,
to get that to get that radio contract, to get that TV contract, to get that revenue.
but go look at their.
So then Bill Russell could play.
But go
So
look
then
at
the
their teams,
Celtics could
though.
have a black starting five. So then I get that.
No,
I'm just saying,
I'm
but
saying
all
like,
of it
no, I'm
stacks
gonna
upon
agree with
it.
you. I was gonna agree with you, but
Okay.
like even if you go look at their footage, like go watch Magic or go watch Bird. Even if you're like, oh, the '80s isn't as good. These dudes could play in any era. Like you could see how good they're
Oh,
moving. They move
absolutely.
faster. So I was like, I don't really care about those arguments. It's like, okay, their era might not have been as nice, but they don't
But
deny them as what they
So
were
exactly.
that's
doing.
the
But
80s. That's the 80s you're talking
Any
about then?
decade. Like if you go watch Wilt, it's like, yeah, but Wilt could also come kill people in this league. Like it's not even a question.
yeah,
He might be playing against some bums, but he's not a bum.
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just placed in the wrong era, essentially.
And it's like, but the thing is, like, everything in this life stacks upon it. You know, like we take for granted that we all have lights on right now. That once upon a time it was a candle. You
Yeah.
know, before the candle wick, it was something else, or it was nothing. You know, all of these things, and from technology to faith based to innovations, they all compound on top of each other. And the
Mhm.
fact that you look back and you say, "Oh, look at them. They're using a candle. Oh, look at them. He didn't have a hammer. Oh, what do we do without the internet? What do we do without AI? What do we do when AI was out
I
here
was
before he was
thinking of,
crossing people?"
yeah.
It's asinine to not understand that, but no one has historical context. So that's me just being an old head and being on my high horse really quickly.
Okay,
But
you can have your
I,
jersey back. You can have your Joker
I
jersey.
appreciate that. If we're gonna go, I had to do it. I was gonna say someone else. I'll leave it for you. You kind of already said it already. But like LeBron going to 8 straight finals. Yeah, I know Jordan went to 6 of 8.
Speak that
Yeah.
Bron talk.
He was 6 of 6. No game sevens. I already said that stat. But the fact that LeBron went to 4 straight with the Heat, was it then another 4 straight with the Cavs?
Yep.
Like that's he
Yeah.
ran the East. Like
Yeah.
it was they call it LeBronto for a reason. They had good teams in Atlanta. They had good teams in Indianapolis. They had good teams at the Knicks. They had good teams with Chicago. They had, and all of them met their demise from the one man named LeBron James.
Yeah.
So the fact that you can't write the history of the NBA, specifically not the 2010s, without that man, and the fact he had an adversary, the fact that that rivalry got for a few years there, we already knew what the final was going to be. So
And let's call it what it is. Like LeBron is always they're always gonna say LeBron didn't get as many as Jordan. But LeBron ran into some BS with the KD thing. Like if you just even get rid of like there's so many moments where LeBron could have got 5 to 6. Those last two rings that they're saying. KD coming to Golden State, it was a wrap after that point. LeBron might have got another one if KD wasn't there. But the moment KD came to that Golden State team, it was LeBron was
And
never
so
going to
what
beat
era
that
are you
team.
putting them in? What the 5 years you putting LeBron in the tens? Where are you putting KD and Curry?
No, they didn't dominate. I mean,
I would
Curry has a
no,
conversation.
I said that's the player I said that I'm
KD,
naming.
it's like, see, here's the thing about that era. It's like LeBron was dominating it, Curry was, KD was, but the king of that era technically was like, Chris, to Chris's point, was LeBron. He was a face of
Yeah.
the league. He was the best,
He went to 8 straight
and he didn't
finals.
go run into. He didn't like. He really ran like when it was just Curry versus Bron. It was 1-1. You
Hmm.
know, it was when KD came through that was a wrap. No one
Yeah.
expected him to beat KD and
Yeah.
Curry. So it's like it's hard to knock him for those losses in the playoffs, or to put Curry up above him when Curry was not the main guy on those Golden State teams. I hate to say it. When as soon as KD came, KD was the main guy. I'm sorry. We'll go look at
So
the
the
stats. Go look at the
2000s, then the
MVPs and
era
the
of the 2000s, who you put in there? Because we skipped it.
well,
We got the 80s,
2000s is
90s.
interesting.
Yeah.
That one is like a shared behavior because you have
That's so we're not gonna touch that one.
yeah, I don't think anyone completely dominated that era. You can make a
Okay.
case for Timmy, you can make a case for Kobe.
That's
You
what
can
I was
make
going
a
to ask you
case
about
for
San
Shaq in the
Antonio.
You
early
can make
parts
for
of it,
Shaq.
I was going to say
and then you got to
Shaq.
throw
So I don't
Dirk
think
in there.
anybody
Dirk.
definitively dominated the 2000s eras, which is why people like the 2000s so much. Anyways, 90s without a question,
Jordan.
the GOAT, Michael Jordan.
80s, we
Like I said,
said,
my GOAT LeBron, but the real GOAT, obviously MJ. 80s is interesting. Because you can really say who it was. I think. I think you can
say
really
it.
say who it was.
Say it.
Magic Johnson.
That's what I said. You said Magic. You said
I think you can
Bird.
make
You
a real
said,
case that Magic he was the guy for the 80s
where was
because
AI
he
at?
did beat
What about
he beat
AI?
he had more head-to-head wins against Larry Bird in the finals,
And you leave it at that. I mean I
and he
agree.
had his MVPs
Yeah, he
obviously.
had five to Bird's three championships. Bird has him in
MVPs,
MVPs.
but
But in the
he has
head-to-head in the finals, Magic won two out of the three. So I'm with you on that. But I think I always look at the 80s and they're symbiotic. You can't, it's like, you can't have night without the day.
yeah you got
It's they both saved the NBA because without that rivalry, without that attention
wasn't
that
about
both of them.
saving it. I just thought she was who was the dominant.
Yeah,
Who
and
was
I'm
the
saying,
dominant.
but I say like Magic and Bird, they'll go down in history as
Yeah,
one.
you can't say
yeah, one
You
group,
can't
one
separate
time.
them, even though you give the edge to who dominated as the player.
mhm.
You give the edge. This is just me
Yeah,
talking. You give it to Magic. Magic will always be my guy, but also Bird, the compliment.
you have
It's
to have him.
it's they go together. They salt and pepper.
And he beat
Yeah.
him. And he beat him in the college
In
one,
the
but that's
college and the
70.
fight,
That was
yeah.
Mhm.
70, so it
Yeah,
doesn't count.
but pure player domination. You
Yeah.
also got to look at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the 70s because what you were saying about no player has ever done it for a full
Mhm.
decade. The only person that has led in four, I think, four of the categories was Kareem in the
Yeah, Kareem is definitely
1970s.
the 70s guy.
But Kareem was just he was in a world of his own.
And then obviously
I
Russell.
think he won 6 to 7
Mhm.
MVPs.
Yeah,
He was in a
he
different
was
life.
he was the guy in the 70s, and then Russell
He
obviously.
never won a championship until he got Magic, or excuse me,
Mr.
in this
11. Because when did Russell win his
in
first
LA.
in like end of the 50s or late to mid?
Who
Bill Russell got
his
the first
first one was in the 50s, yeah.
50s, and then all of the 60s he
Yeah.
won. So you'd have to give it to Russell in the 60s. That's pure dominant.
I mean, someone averaged 50 that year.
That's true, but he was. I mean,
And
I
he
guess it
and he
depends
got
on
and
what
he
you
got
mean.
one. He got
Yeah,
one
he
in
got
there.
one though, but yeah, he only got that one. He
That's
got two in
true.
his career, but
He got one
one in
there.
there.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry. It all comes back to Nikola Jokic. If Nikola
Yeah.
Jokic gets one more championship, I'm starting to look at Wilt. I'm sorry. That's
Oh no,
wild for me to
no,
say.
I think he's got. I think he's get. I think he can pass Wilt with another
Now I'm
championship.
gonna start looking at Wilt. Like I'm gonna start looking at Wilt. I'm gonna be like, like
Yeah.
not since Wilt is a thing in the Nuggets
No,
world.
I think he definitely passes Wilt for sure with another
He
championship.
starts to look you in the eye.
That's
I'm
why
not
we
he's
have
not
got
looking
to
up
get
at you anymore.
another
He's starting
one.
to look
And
you right in
And
the
you know who
eye.
else he's looking at too with another championship, and I think he might even get the cross pass too. Is Hakeem. I think he can pass
Hmm.
Hakeem with another
yeah,
championship.
oh yeah.
I think
Oh
he
yeah.
definitely passed the Akeem with a championship. The only ones that I'll allow people to say
Shaq.
are Kareem and Shaq. That's
Yeah.
it. And Shaq would have got. I mean,
They both would have gave each
yeah,
other
they would have
buckets
gave
in
each other
series.
buckets. Yeah, Shaq is not. Shaq is contrary to what Shaq would have you believe.
Hmm.
Shaq never saw a big man like Yoke,
No.
and when he did see a big man like Yoke, it was in the '95 finals, and it was 4-0 to Akeem. So
I
let's
think
pump some
I think
brakes
the
here.
thing is like Jokic would clearly give Shaq crazy buckets. But then Shaq would also give Jokic buckets in a different way because Shaq could bully in,
Hmm.
get the bucket. I
Yeah.
think Shaq could just do to make that what Jokic doesn't like. So
Yeah.
some of the stuff that Jokic just doesn't like, Shaq can do really well.
Hmm.
So
Right.
I think
No,
Right.
they would start to cancel each other out, and Shaq would be like, I got four, he's got two.
it would be fun to see.
But like I would also say like Jamal Murray's not Kobe Bryant. So
That'd be the best big man.
respectfully, he's not.
Big if I got a
Blue
chance to
Mamba
watch
though.
If I got to watch two centers go at it, without a doubt, I would love to see Jokic and Shaq go at it. That would be so much fun. And then another backup one would be Jokic and Tim Duncan. I just think them on.
Oh yeah.
That would have been fun to watch against each other.
But Timmy's not a center. He's a
I know,
forward.
but I mean, he played a lot.
He was a 4 or 5.
He played enough center that you could also.
Oh, I agree with you. I'm just saying with he's categorized as a forward. Man.
Well, anyways, from the Just Nuggets podcast, my name is K.Collar. You can
And
find
before-
us on all. Go ahead, get something else.
Yes.
Sure.
Is I want to give you an update since we're doing this kind of live. It's 35 seconds left in the half. It's the second quarter, and the Nuggets are up 69-48. So they must have listened to this podcast.
72-48.
Oh, see, I'm
Big
behind.
three coming through.
There you go. Oh, the three's coming. Oh, yeah. So so they must have had a good meeting.
And Jamal Murray with 26 in the first.
Yeah. So his ankle healed.
Yep.
Let's finish strong tonight. And
as always, you can find us on Twitter, X at the Just Nuggets podcast. JJ, thank you for another episode. Christoph, thank you for another episode. And as always,
go Nuggets.
Go Nuggets.
Give me my thing.